Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's great to see you all here. Thank you. Hi. So we are gonna wait a few more minutes for the rest of participants to join the workshop, and we'll get started as soon as they are on. Hi. So we have people from all over the country, from East Coast, West Coast, from everywhere. Thanks so much for joining. It's great to have you here. And so we are hitting the end of the year for 2025, which means we need to be already planning our 2026. And with that, I mean, what's our growth trajectory? What's our growth planning? What do we have in mind for 2026, and how we are going to allocate our resources and plans and head manpower and financial resources to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. And I hope that this webinar can help you get where you want to get with your practice in 2026. This is going to be mostly a workshop, a hands-on workshop. You guys can do whatever is good for you. I'm going to share some Excel sheets here. You can get access to that Excel sheet and do things that is helpful for you, okay? Practice with me so you get used to practicing with numbers and planning. That would be great for you. Okay. So without further ado, it's 8:06. Let's start the webinar and discuss how 2026 is going to look like for all of us. All right. So this is a 2026 growth blueprint, and I am going to present this, and I hope you will enjoy the presentation and the webinar, and then you will go out of this session with some practical action plans. At the end of this session, I'm going to ask you to write down 3 legitimate action plans that you want to have. So let's move forward. First, let's talk about why you need to listen to me. What's my credibility? What's my background? I am an MD-MBA. I am the founder of I Care Better and Femcare and Endometriosis AI. And I have grown I Care Better to over 1,000 patients per day, and I have helped 10 plus practices across $1 million annual revenue and multiple $1 million in some of them multiple $1 million in annual revenue. And I have 7 plus years of experience in women's health, endometriosis, pelvic health, everything women's health. And if you want to meet with me, we can book a call in femcaremarketing.com/consult. With that out of the way, let's do some housekeeping stuff here. Please turn off your cell phones. This is less than an hour session from now on. We are at 8:08 and we are going to be done in like 50 minutes. This 50 minutes that we are going to have ahead of us will define the plan and the strategy for your 2026. So I think it's worth some attention focus. I know you have a lot of things going on. Your EMR is open, your chatbot is open. You have to tell this to patient or to your staff. If it's not an emergency, just shut the windows, focus on this. This is focusing on yourself and your practice. So it's worthwhile. We will make it worthwhile, and you will make it worthwhile because it's going to be a hands-on workshop today. And let's dive into this session, review what you are going to learn today. You're going to learn to plan your growth so you know exactly what you want to achieve in 2026 and how to allocate resources to achieve those goals for 2026. It's pretty simple, straightforward. We plan, then how we allocate. So with that, first, let's talk about 2026 goals. Because in reality, as Brian Tracy has said, success is goals, all else is commentary. So you need to set goals and achieve them. And when you do that, set goals and achieve them, then you have basically succeeded in your mission in life. Otherwise, it's not a success anymore. So when I say goals, it means you need to have a clear understanding about how much money you want to make in the next year. It starts with the amount of money, the revenue that you want to make. Then we are going to divide it to see how much monthly you want to make. Then we are going to divide it to that month per procedure. So we will figure how many patients you need and et cetera, et cetera. So with that, I'm going to, okay, I needed to let some people in. With that, I'm going to share this, a new page, which is an Excel sheet that I've created for this presentation. So this is a target planner. Obviously, this is an Excel sheet or Google sheet. So we put numbers in it, and then it gives us some automatic answers. So let's say, for example, if whatever your current revenue is, hypothetically, you have already received the link by now. Open the file, and let's start playing with this. This is a planning practice, and we are going to practice this together. Okay. Let's say you want to achieve $2.4 million in year 2026. Okay. What does that mean? That means you want to earn $2 million, $200,000 per month next year in 2026. And let's answer this question for yourself. What's the average ticket value? Meaning, like, per month, how many procedures do you do and what's the ticket value? For example, if you're a surgeon, out of network surgeon, probably your ticket value lands somewhere around 15,000. If you're a PT, maybe your ticket value lands around 500 or 600 or $300. So you need to have a clear ticket value here. Then when you have 200,000, 15,000 ticket value, the number of procedures that you need to do to achieve 200,000, if each procedure brings you 15,000, you're going to need 13 procedures, booked procedures, to achieve this number. So now we have to focus on this 13, the number of patients that you need to achieve 15,000, to achieve 200,000 per month and 2.4 million per year. How are we going to achieve 13 booked surgeries? We have to reverse engineer it from booked to people on the street. How can we get from the 7 billion people who are walking on the street, how can we get 13 of them in your procedure so you can make 200,000 per month and 2.4 million per year? So reverse engineering from these 13 patients come after you doing consultation with patients. And when you do consultation patients, in many cases, 14% of people that you consult with end up converting into procedure. And from people that you consult, they come from people who are on internet or on the street and have no clue who you are. So you target them, you bring them in, and then you consult with them. So from cold leads or like leads that have no appointment with you to consultation, the conversion is typically 2%. So 2% of people that you target and have the problem that you solve, 2% of them will convert into consultation, and 14% of them, 40% of the consultation will result in booking, which means basically you need 1,667 leads per month to achieve $2.4 million. And if we assume the cost per lead to be in your pipeline is $18, it means you're gonna spend about 30,000 to achieve 200,000. It's about 7x ROI, return on investment, which is an amazing return on investment. And this is like a 15% marketing investment, which is well around industry standard. In medicine, you have to spend between 10 to 20% of your practice if you want to grow and achieve like multi-million-dollar status. You can spend less than that, but then your growth is gonna be stagnant and you're not gonna grow. And it's like non-negotiable. You have to spend to raise awareness and to bring patients in. Does this make sense? How do you guys feel? Do you think it makes sense? It's reasonable? Drop one for me if you think it makes sense. Like Alan, yes, yes, exactly. Stephanie, yes. Marie, yes, 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 one. Okay, great. I'm glad that it makes sense for you. If you have any question, drop it in the comments or in the question box here. I'm happy to answer every question you guys have. Now, let's say, okay, so we are at this point, we understand that for making $2.4 million, we need to spend somewhere around 30,000. Of course, you can spend less, and then you're gonna end up making less. And if you spend more, you probably are gonna make more, depending on your bandwidth. So in budget allocation, let's say this is another example. I'm not going off the 30,000. I'm going off like we can play with the number, right? It's just and I'll show you how you can play with it. So if you make 2.4, if you want to make 2.4, let's say you want to allocate 7% of your budget. Of course, you can make like 10%. The numbers change. If you want to put like 15%, the numbers change. But it's up to you, right? You decide how much you want to. You decide how much you want to be here, how much to allocate to the marketing here. Okay, that's your decision. But let's assume you want to spend 15% of your marketing, which means in a year you want to spend 360,000 per year, which is 30,000 per month. So from this 30,000, you need to allocate 70% to online marketing, 10% to building a referral network, 10% to offline marketing, conferences like Endo Summit or like other conferences, or go somewhere, go to patients communities, go to your local conferences or gatherings, and 10% to repeat business, meaning getting patients involved, getting them to refer you. There's a strategy for that, obviously, so you can get them involved. So basically, in a year, you end up spending 252,000 online marketing, 36K referral network, 36K offline, and 36K repeat business. And this is going to be like in January, like you're gonna make like you know how this works. This is like 100% divided by 12. Each month you're gonna spend 8.3%. So you're gonna spend 21,000 on online marketing and 30,000 on other aspects of 3,000 on other aspects of the marketing. So this is like a very aggressive growth mindset. If you want to grow really aggressively, that's the amount of money and the type of work that you need to do. And then you can divide your budget to like where you want to spend your money. We don't go into that much details, but you can definitely decide in online marketing where you want to spend your money. Like, for example, you can spend a portion of it on SEO, a portion of it on ads and pay-per-click, a portion of it on display retargeting, a portion of it on directories that index your practice and build credibility and prestige, like I Care Better. So you can divide your online marketing into different aspects of the online presence. So that's up to you. You can make the decision. You can also invest in your referral network. For example, build a network with your colleagues, invite them to your office, throw a party, have all of them around. So this is how you how you allocate. Also, you can also work with I Care Better on that. We do a lot of referral network building. So that's another thing we can do for you. But anyway, don't worry about working with us. The point here is you should start building your referral network and allocating money. So this is how this thing works. Now, the other thing that you need to know to be successful is when you are allocating. So if you think about different resources, you're allocating first to online or offline marketing, referral network, offline repeat business. Then on online, you're going to spend on SEO, pay-per-click, I Care Better, other directories. And on offline or referral network, you're going to spend on like Handshake or like other directories. You need to know how much is each lead is costing you, and why you need to um, think about that, why it's important that how much a lead is costing you. So you need to know average cost per patient by source. For example, typically based on our studies of the market, if you are only launching ads campaign like pay-per-click, you're going to spend about 1,500 to acquire one patient and 700 to acquire for surgery and 700 to acquire one patient for physical therapy, which stays there for. So this 1,500 is going to bring you 15,000. This 700 is going to bring you 5,000. Like other specialists probably need to spend about 900 to be able to attract one customer. The same for others. Like for example, in Google, local service ads, that's the amount that you need to pay. In repeat and referral, obviously, you see it's like the cheapest way that you can get patients, and it's very underused and underappreciated. It's an amazing resource. Most people don't use it. And like blended average is like 967. So these numbers may not be the exact numbers that you achieve, but you need to know how much you're paying per patient to enter your door. That number needs to be clear. Like you need to have that as a business owner, because you need to know if you're bringing a patient for 967, then you need to know if I'm spending 90,000, I can get probably 100 of these patients. If I spend 10,000, I probably get like 10 of these patients. So that's something that you need to really think about and plan for. And here, this is like the ROI that you can expect. Like if you spend 967 and you make 10,000, you basically 10x your investment. And it's almost the same for most services. And then when you have these numbers, you know where to put money that works more. Like if, for example, if pay-per-click works best for you and has the lowest number, here we have the repeat and referral as the lowest number. But let's say pay-per-click is your best strategy that brings you customers with the cheapest cost for acquisition. So you pour money on that to make sure you're maximizing its potential. And then you know where to put your money, right? This gives you an idea of here is where I want to put my money to bring more patients in. The other thing is you have to have a marketing calendar, meaning like every month for you needs to mean something in terms of your awareness building, your education of the community. How are you going to get connected to the community and the big national calendar and big national movements? For example, January is an early diagnosis awareness, right? You can make February pain management options. You can make March endometriosis awareness month, things like that. For example, November holistic wellness program. You can do these things to get patients engaged and give them new resources, new understanding, and really help them to become better persons, because learn more about themselves, and also give them reasons to get engaged with you with different topics, right? Like for example, let's focus on January. Early diagnosis awareness. Email campaign could be New Year, New You, importance of early diagnosis. The social media campaign could be start fresh, take control of your endometriosis. Uh, for SEO, you can focus on symptoms of endometriosis. For display ads, you can do early diagnosis options. Like, hey, we do ultrasound or pelvic exam, things like that, right? There is the point here is have a coherent strategy every month, so people hear the same message in different channels from you, and the messages are different in each month. So it's not going to be too repetitive and boring for patients. So having a marketing calendar is an absolute necessity for your practice if you want to really grow strategically and grow with the structure and organization. Okay, so this Excel sheet, you can have it. We have sent it to your emails, and we have sent the link here in the chat. So feel free to use it for yourself. Now I'm going to stop sharing and see if anyone has a question here. Oh, okay. So the question is, can you change the numbers? Yes, I showed you. You can change the numbers, and it's gonna give you different results. So for example, if you want to spend 20,000 per month, or you want to spend 15% or 10%, there is a different number for you to allocate. But just have a plan, right? Remember, plan is important. If you don't have a plan, you don't know where you are going, right? But if you have a plan, at least you know where you're going. You might not be able to adhere to the plan 100% of the time, but at least you know where you're going. You know, if you're not spending enough or you're overspending, you know actually you're overspending if you have a plan. But imagine you don't have a plan, you're spending 100,000 per month and getting 10 patients. You're overspending. You don't, basically, you're not getting enough results for your efforts. Okay, so have a plan. That's the goal. That's the most important aspect of this Excel sheet, to help you plan. Okay, back to this. So we discussed, this is basically a simple planner, and you have a more sophisticated one in that Excel sheet. And so the next question is, so now you have a plan. The next question is, you have to know who you are targeting, right? It's really important for you to know it. I know you might think this is a marketing thing. It's a marketing thing, but you already have it in somewhere in your mind. You just put it here on paper so you can see it and you can share it with someone else. Like, who is your avatar? What's the age? What's their fears and implications of the disease? What's their goals? Like, if are they girls in their 20s wanting to marry and have children, or are they women in their 50s wanting to have, like, you know, an active lifestyle, hike, run? What's the audience that you are targeting, and what's their goal and desire? Are they like endometriosis patients in pain? What's their pains and frustrations? Are they frustrated by the health system not treating them well? What are they dreaming of? Like, are they dreaming of having a baby, a family, relationships? And so that's how you think about the patient that you want to target, right? So you need to have a good avatar, good description of your patient. And then, what's your message? What's the difference between your three? Write down right now for yourself. Write down three differences between your practice and the practices that you know of in your neighborhood. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds. Write down a few differences, some differences that you know exist. You intentionally made those differences to exist in your practice. That being, like, for example, comprehensive care, like in-office ultrasound, shockwave therapy, some procedure that you do that no multidisciplinary team that you have built, things like that. And what's the unique benefits that you offer that resonate with your target audience? For example, a benefit could be, if you pay me this, I never charge you for my consultations after surgery, because I charge you a cash for the surgery. Or if you work with us, I have a multidisciplinary team, so you won't have to go around and find your own providers. I have the best team for you already in place, so just come and use our resources. What unique benefits do you offer? Okay, so after you have that, so you have an understanding of the marketing message and who your target customer is, then generally speaking, when you know who you are targeting, you know what you are offering that makes you stand out. There is a framework that we call digital dominance method. You just follow this method, and then you most likely are going to dominate your market for the diseases that you cover. Let's say you have a pelvic pain and endometriosis practice. These 8 steps need to be covered for you to dominate your segment. First is Google SEO, then is targeted exposure to patients, for example, health grades, eye care better, social media and advertising, pay-per-click means ads and visibility, retargeting campaigns and ads and emails, uh, paid online directories, for example, Google Business Profile or Yelp, repeat and referral, meaning building an email marketing campaign, social media, so people constantly, even after they do surgery, remember you, they will think about you and send their friends and family members to you, and build a referral network with your colleagues in your region, right? That's a really important part of a practice, because the practice is to be built around relationships and trust. So you have to have a collegial relationship with your uh, providers in your town, in your region. So they refer to you and you refer to them to benefit the patients, right? You want to benefit the patients, but it's best for patients to be referred to the best doctor who understands the disease, who is actively educating, engaging with the community, rather than some other people. Okay, so based on that digital dominance method, so remember, first thing is SEO, and then okay, like directories for qualified leads and social media. Let's cover these three to see what you can do to really like nail these three, the basics down. First is your website. Is your website, because website is the hub where everyone ends up. That's like your 24/7 salesperson. It shows what you do, how you're basically approaching the disease, how you're talking to your customer. Does it have, does it talk to your target avatar? Like, does it call them by name and tell them what you're doing immediately? Does it have an authentic image on the homepage and throughout the website? Meaning, if they scroll, they see you and your team. Does your website have videos of you and your team? So people see you, trust you, they know you're real. It's not just a random website, because people are humans, right? You want to connect with them and give them some reasons to trust you. Um, does it make it easy for patients to contact you? Like here, does it have like a booking section? Does it have the phone number? Does it have the credibility icons, like what societies you are on? Does it have a good loading time so people don't waste their time? Also, do you have KPI tracking in system? Like, do you know where the calls are coming from? What are your visitors? How many visitors of your website convert into being patients? What's the most visited pages so you can capitalize on them? So do you really monitor what's going on in your website so you can optimize it within time? Or it's like a forgotten land? You have forgotten it, you haven't done anything on it. What what do you think? Drop some comments or some stories in the comments for me here. Well, some people are really upset with their website. That's fine. That's fine. It's a common thing, right? Most practices forget about their website. They don't think that's necessary, whereas that's actually a 24/7 marketing and sales person. So it's really important that you have figured this out. Okay. And we have a checklist on our website. Go to femcaremarketing.com. You can download this checklist for your website, and like it has multiple questions. You can answer it. Don't worry about that. This is like a long list. I don't want to go through it, but it covers most of the questions that you need to answer about your website. So the other thing that I wanted to address was, make sure that you are part of specific directories of your community, because people want to make sure you have the credibility. I mean, everyone can appear on Google Ads and Facebook Ads. No one gives you credit for being on Google Ads, but there are some platforms out there that give you credibility. Find out what's in your segment that gives credibility and people look at it as a credible website. For example, in endometriosis, pelvic pain, I Care Better is one. Generally speaking, Health Grade is another one. People look at it in with some hesitation, but it has a credibility because it really looks at the NPIs and everything. So make sure you get to some of the credit building websites, and also you have a good social media and advertising. So you don't have to do advertising, but social media strategy. Like, are you on Instagram? Are you on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube? Like, are you communicating with your community constantly? Then after this, these are the basics. Then you can go to pay-per-click and other stuff. But make sure you cover one, two, three. Without these three, nothing can be built to drive your growth. Now let's get to some action items. We are almost done here with the presentation. At this point, so you have been here for 35 minutes, and we discussed a lot of things: goal setting and avatar defining and explaining your customers and how you are differentiated, and then based on that, how you're going to take actions, the 8 steps of digital dominance. What's your immediate next 3 steps that you want to take, that you want to take your practice to the next level? The goal of this question is for you just to think, right? Just think about, okay, I'm sitting here, these are my next 3 steps. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds. Feel free to do this, and then we get back to continue our conversation. Okay, so if you have written the 3 action items that you want to take immediately, let's get back to our presentation. A little bit about us. We are FemCare Marketing. We offer marketing services for ethical and effective digital growth. We basically build everything around trust and community building with patients and providers in your community. We cover everything from web design and SEO to advertising and patient-centered messaging and referral network building. So we are a full-scale agency, and would be happy to chat with you, give you some insights. If you want to meet with me personally, you can go to our website, femcaremarketing.com/consult, or call this number. Happy to give you insights. And we are happy to offer you a free online marketing plan review, which includes analysis of the website and online visibility, give you a keyword list that you would be best ranked for, and generally speaking, like online directory listing, reviews, and reputation and social presence. So you understand that where your growth opportunities are and where you are doing the best. So you will have a self-awareness. We help you get some self-awareness and understand your own status. Okay, you can go to this link and book that appointment with me. And with that, thank you so much. We are done with the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing. If you have any question, happy to answer. Otherwise, you can go do business as usual. I hope it was helpful. We're entering 2026, an important year, extremely important year for all of us. Hopefully, you can achieve your goals, and hopefully we can be part of your story because we just spent a few minutes together. So I'm going to hang out here a few minutes if you have any question. Otherwise, you can go home. Okay, no more question. Thank you so much. Great to see you all here, and have a great rest of the year. Happy holidays, and see you next year. Bye-bye.